Hello everyone, this is Joshua Cook back here on my YouTube channel, and I just got done watching NXT's Stand and Deliver. All in all, I thought it was a pretty good show. Um, when you think about how terrible Raw and SmackDown have been recently, because I've watched your wrestling newscaster and some other people on YouTube saying that um, Raw and SmackDown uh, have not been doing very well, and you look at it at NXT, and they've been putting on pretty good shows recently. So when that tells you that, when you find out, when you see NXT doing better than Raw and SmackDown combined, then that ought to tell you who's actually better, who, who's actually better in WWE as a whole. You know. So, anyways, the first match on the card, I didn't watch the countdown show, so um, first show on the main program was the triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. JC Jane versus Loathe versus Kendall Gray. I have said that I wanted Kendall Gray to win, but that didn't happen. Um, Lola Vice ended up winning, so I'm okay with that. You know, as long as it didn't, as long as JC Jane didn't leave as the champion. So, like I said, I'm okay with Lola Vice winning. Although I think Kendall Gray will be uh, a champion sometime down the road. She has a pretty good future ahead of her. Then we had the NXT tag team titles with Los Americanos versus the Vanity Project. And these two teams put on a pretty good match. Um, but Jackson Dane, uh, I think that's his name. Jackson Dane uh, interfered and helped the Vanity Project keep their tag team titles. Even though the match was pretty good, the ending was terrible. Then we had Zarya versus Soruka, and it was a good match. Soruka won with her Soul Snatcher. So, like I said, it was a pretty good match. Then Izzy Dane came out when Soruka was doing an interview after the match. And so those two are going to have a match on Tuesday. Then the NXT North American Champion, hold on. All right. Um, then we had the NXT North American Championship. Miles Bourne against Johnny Gargano. Uh, Johnny Gargano had a pretty good match, but um, it looked like he was going to win with Candice LeRae's interference, but that didn't happen. Miles Bourne won and is still the North American champion. But then one of the members of Dark State attacked Miles after the match. So looks like Miles is going to have a feud with Dark State. And then we had the Women's North American Championship with Blake Monroe going against Tatum Paxley. Blake Monroe, who stole Tatum's belt. If Blake Monroe won the match, and I don't think we would have heard the end of it from her. I didn't want Blake Monroe to win, honestly. So Tatum Paxley ends up winning and is still the Women's North American Champion. And then the main event was the Fatal 4-Way match with Joe Hendry, Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, and Tony D'Angelo. It ended up with Tony D'Angelo winning the NXT Championship. I thought that Joe Hendry was going to win, but if one of those two was going to win the title, then the other one was going to excuse me. Then the other one was going to make the challenge on a Tuesday night. So it like I said, it ended up with Tony D'Angelo winning. He hit his finisher, dead to rights on Joe Hendry, and Tony D'Angelo is your new NXT North American champion. So, all in all, like I said, it was NXT Stand and Deliver was a pretty good show. And when you realize that NXT is the better show, a way better show than Raw and SmackDown combined, then that should tell you which one out of the three WWE shows that people like more, where they're leaning more towards, they're leaning more towards NXT than Raw and SmackDown. So, overall, I thought, like I said, Stand and Deliver was a good show. Minus the bad ending to that tag team title match with Los Americanos and the Vanity Project. I would give this PLE an 8.25 out of 10. So, yeah, 8.25 to a 9. That's my rating to it. So, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Stand and Deliver. So, yeah, that's it for this review. So, be sure and like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on FanList, Daily Motion, and Rumble, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And like I said, let me know in the comments your thoughts on NXT Stand and Deliver. So, Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. This is Joshua Cook signing off, and I am out.